How's everyone doing? I wanted to share with you a new caddis pattern that I found this last year. My friend Jack sent it over to me. He fishes over in the driftless area and said it really works well on his streams over there. And so I tied a few up, and I was really happy with what I saw. Just a super simple pattern to tie, and the fish just eat it. So for years my favorite pattern for a caddis was an elk hair caddis, and in faster water, riffly water where they don't have as much time to look at it, you need something that makes it float a little bit better. The elk hair is really tough to beat, and that used to be my primary pattern that I would use. But as I moved over to the Missouri, I found that I needed to change some of my patterns to get the flies to sit in the film a little bit more, and then I switched to a corn-fed caddis, and the corn-fed caddis is fantastic. But here's what I like about this fly is it's got the same properties as the corn-fed caddis, because it's got the CDC in the body, and it has all that movement, and it sits really low in the film. But the other thing that it has is the deer hair wing. I don't use elk hair, but the deer hair wing that I put on there is super visible, and that's really important, you know. So sometimes the corn-fed would sink a little bit easier than this pattern. Like I said, this pattern is really easy to tie, super easy to see. I'm not even putting any kind of I guess colorful post on it to help see it. I've been pretty lucky to get people to see it just with the deer hair on it. So anyway, let me just show you how it's tied, and give it a shot. I think you'll find this fish, this really is a fish catcher. So good luck out there. So here is the CDC and Elk, and you'll be surprised how simple this is. This thread I'm using is Semperfly, and you almost have to slice it like a knife. So there's only two materials in this, and I've been using, I don't know if this will show, I've been using the hairline puffs, and I'm using tan for this pattern. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to grab the tip, and sometimes I got to use two of these, sometimes one, and I'm just going to grab the tips, and just going to catch that like that, and then I'm going to take the hackle pliers and roll it through. And this body is going to be made of CDC, and later we're going to add some more, I'll just call it legs, that are going to pop out for us. But for now we're just going to do a pretty thin body. And you're going to get some, don't cut those stragglers off, leave them in there. We want all that stuff, and I am going to use two. Sometimes if you're tying a smaller fly, you will probably not need two of them. Some folks use the stems instead of the puffs, and what I find is it seems like the feather is just not covering the body enough for me, so I kind of like the thickness of the puffs. But yeah, it's just me. I'm tying it just a smidge different than some folks do. So here's my second part of the body. Oop. Sometimes if you grab it just at the stem, it'll pop off, so I try to grab a little bit of the actual feather, and then it seems to hold it better. So, and I'm going to bring it right up, and this is a pretty sparse fly. I don't tie the deer hair very thick, but it's definitely enough to see it. So I'm just going to sweep back some of those fibers. I want those fibers in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these puffs, and I want it to go around and under. So I'm going to hold it kind of how I want it to sit. And depending on how thick I want it, I might even add one more in, but that's actually pretty good. But I'll add one more in there just to make sure that we got some legs kicking around. That action is pretty key for this fly. And then I'm going to be pretty sparse on this on this deer hair, and I've been using deer hair. This is the same stuff I'm using at Comparadun. I want really thick stems so it floats, but I don't want a full thickness of what I would use for an elk hair caddis. I'm going to make it a little bit lighter than that because I've got that CDC to float it in there. So I'm just going to stack my tips real quick. Alright, and I'm going to grab it in the direction of where the wing is going to go. It makes it a little easier, and you'll see there's usually some junk pieces in there. So sometimes if you put a few extra fibers in there that you don't, probably a little thicker than you need, you can just take it out at this point, and I try to choose the ones that don't look so nice. So one more ugly one, and I think the rest look pretty good. That's a pretty thin, it's not a full elk hair style. And all I'm going to do is bring it in through there once, and I'm going to roll through this. I don't want to just put it in one spot. I don't want to, this thread can actually cut the deer hair pretty easy. And here I'm just going to come in, and I'm going to take out tips here. And this fly is almost done. That's how easy it is. And the Missouri has some selective fish, and they snatch this one up, and you don't need any colorful posts for it, at least from what I've seen. Is this wing here, even though it's not real heavy, it makes it float a lot easier, and it's super visible. And I don't put any lacquer on my dry flies. I just double, triple my whip finish, and that's your bug. That's how easy that bug is, and it's super effective, and it floats like gangbusters. So give it a shot. I think you'll really like this bug. And Jack, thanks for showing it to me. It's always nice when you have people sending you fly patterns, and you know, you try them out and they work like that.